Alessandro, we'll start with you. Give everybody that doesn't know you a little bit of background about you and your real estate experience.
Anybody that doesn't know me. So for the 5 people that don't know me, yeah. Well, what can I say? I started in real estate back in 1994 in Italy, in how you call it, Shakespeare's favorite town in Verona, in one of the largest company in Europe right now, Tecnocasa. And licensed in New York wasn't fun enough for me. I decided to come down to Florida in 2004. I got my passion for real estate investments, particular tax deed. My mentor is still there, is become like piece of family to me. And now I've been teaching with Gold Coast for the past, 6-7 years now. So I feel blessed of what real estate has been able to do for me. But I feel even more blessed to have the opportunity to meet people of the altitude of Ernesto Vega, and that's what definitely. And it's funny because we are like all humble on our own way, but I have to say, Ernesto, when they sent me a text message, I loved it. He goes, you're just short of one text that says, I love you, and I think you are my wife. So I actually did really say what I believe and what I think. So, and this is what it is to me. Like, this is an industry where, to be a stand-up guy is an industry where respect by the competition is probably what really are facing what you really are.
Well, thank you very much, Alessandro. And this little group right here is just a testament to show you, how networking really can build, create, and not just a circle, but a friendship and a business at the same time. Ernesto, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. So my name is Ernesto Vega. I'm the founder of Canvas Real Estate. Just like Alessandro, I think real estate has been the only real career, the only real job that I've ever done. I started doing this very young and found a passion for it. Found a passion to mentor, recruit, and encourage agents as they join this profession to see it as the way that both of you teach it as a profession. That this could be a career path, not as a supplement, but this could be the job that dream job that you wanted to have your whole life. And I gotta tell you that, I'm surrounded by a lot of great people because I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have the team that I have. I have a great team around me, and I have a lot of great colleagues like both of you that sort of I can learn from and lean on, because, there's in this industry, it's impossible to be a know-it-all, but you can always have somebody around you that you can pick at and can help you succeed. And for everybody watching, if you can do a favor for each of those 2 individuals that you see on the screen with me, if you can so kindly hit share on this presentation that they put together, because this is gonna help a lot of people. There's gonna be a lot of interesting questions and topics that they want to cover, because they're very vested in the success of that next generation of professionals that are coming into this industry. They're fully vested in that success. And it will be great if a lot of them can take advantage of what we're going to share today.
So let's get right into it. So, we always talk about when we're teaching and because all of us are teachers in our own right? So we're always talking about choosing the right brokerage. And I like to tell the people that I teach, it's something that you have to make a conscious choice about, but it's also something that you have to feel, right? You have to feel comfortable where you're at, and you have to make sure where you're at is offering the most for what you're getting, right?
Correct.
But, that begs the question, if you've never done something, how do you know what to ask? Right? Do you guys all agree with that? So
Yeah, it's that's a good topic. That's you know, what are those questions that I should ask when I'm sitting across from that prospective broker that I'm gonna meet with. And
right.
you, both of you probably get, you know, that question a lot. Where do I go? What do I do? Is that a question you guys get a lot?
I get it a ton.
I get it absolutely, and you know, I always tell them that whenever they go and talk with a company, their job is to interview the company, because it goes both way. Company want to make sure that they get the people with the right moral, with the right ethical and behavior and everything, with the right motivation in. But on the other side, you guys that are listening this conversation, is what is it that because it's a double investment, right? Am I investing in you? What is going to be my return on investment?
Got it. Got it. So the questions that I'm asked a lot, and I put together a little list, and you know, that I get asked a lot. The number one question I'm asked immediately from the door is, what is my commission split?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna cover that one to the end. So if you're tuning in and you thought, oh, he's gonna get that up front, I'm gonna cover that at the end. But that's you know, that is usually the first question that I'm asked. The second question, I'm gonna dress it up a little prettier than what Milko said, and is evaluate the culture of that broker you're interviewing with. You truly want to sit down and you want to have a conversation with the broker or interviewer. You want to understand the company, the culture, how they operate, who are the key components of that company, where's their goals, where are they going, are they you know, in real estate, you're either growing or you're dying, but there's no, right, Alessandro, there's no in between. We're one of those industries that you're either growing or dying. There's no correlation in between. So I tell you, you gotta evaluate the culture of that company. What is it that they believe in? You know, it's not just how long they've been around. That helps a lot. But what they've been around for a while. What is it that they believe in that they've been able to survive as long as they have? Now, and not just survive, thrive as long as they have.
Right.
Another question. Go ahead.
So I want you to expand on that a little bit for me, so because I know there's a lot of companies out there that will tell you certain things and say certain things as to what their company's about, right? And this is what I talk about when I say you have to kind of feel it also. Yeah. So what I mean by that is when you're sitting across from somebody, and Alessandro, you chime in here too, you have to know that it's genuine what they're really telling you. Because when I'm in a position of instructing, right, I look at it more of the fact that I want to see those people succeed. That's my ultimate goal, is to have these people succeed. There's no ulterior there. It's, you know, whether or not they are successful in whatever endeavor that I'm instructing in, I'm doing my best to have them succeed. There's no gain on my part of it. It's just their success is my gain. Yeah. And I try my best to do that. And I think that's what I mean when I say you have to feel it. You know, I want people to understand, you have to look at the person sitting across that table from you and see if that's genuine. In whatever endeavor that I'm instructing in, I'm doing my best to have them succeed.
One of you.
There's no gain on my part.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, you know, to me, you know, the definition of culture, it goes a long way, because you gotta believe what that company is believing. You gotta feel what that company is feeling, and that way you know if you're aligning yourself with the right company. And that's why, like Alessandro said, you got to go interview with a couple of brokers and see which one is the best fit for what you're looking for what your plans are. Another question that I get asked a lot, guys, is, should I join your firm that you are an independent, or should I join a national brand? I think now more than ever, especially dealing with what we're dealing with as a country, locally owned businesses are more vested in the community, and the dollars that are produced by a locally owned business stay locally, don't get sent somewhere else. Plus the pulse that they have, on the community is a little bit different. They are the people that you interact with, the supermarket, a church, a school, a place. So for us, we're an independent company, and we were just named the 187th best independent brokerage in the U.S. So
Wow.
I take that with great pride, because, like I said, I have a great team around me that has helped us get to that 187. You got to think that's not Florida, that's the entire U.S. So if you ask me why independent versus a franchise, is my answer is simple. Our model adapts and is able to quickly pivot, especially in a market, in an environment like we are today. The market it's going to be very fluid over the next year to 2 years. So me and Alessandro have a very nice bet going regarding where the market is going to be at the end of the year. So you'll be able to tune into that webinar, because we will do a presentation of that. But you
From the
got
steakhouse.
yeah, you gotta join a brand that is now waiting for somebody in California or somebody in New Jersey to tell them what to do. And that's just my opinion. Why independence? Because the independent counts. Independence is vested in your neighborhood, it's vested in your area, and the decisions are made locally. So that's one of those questions that I get asked also a lot.
I once heard from a very smart individual in real estate. He says, real estate is very localized, right? So if you're making a decision in California about South Florida, when South Florida is a completely different market, the decisions may not be the best for that market area, right? So having somebody that's here that understands the market. Alessandro, do you think that makes you worked internationally, you worked in New York? What do you think?
Well, you say something before that is absolutely right? So my students know that one very well. People that come to my classes, some of them stay connected with me, and they really end up realizing that I don't just enjoy to teach. I enjoy them taking a license, but mostly I enjoy to see them successful right after they finally get a license, because a license is just a piece of paper on your pocket. It costs you a lot of time, effort, sacrifice. I've seen students cry because they could not get the material in the beginning, and I see them crying after because they couldn't believe they actually got it, and I see really down in tears on their first deal. And I can tell you, I've been crying with some of them. Sometimes I couldn't hold my tears back. And see, I do agree with that. And, this is coming from somebody that joined a large company that can go from Keller Williams to Century 21, from Coldwell Banker to Tecnocasa starting in Italy. And I can tell you that just like when you are deciding to go banking somewhere, there are certain benefits to go to a major bank. Normally, when you are with a local bank, you are actually a person, while we are with a large one, you are more a number, right? Mm-hmm. So, but then again, there is a fit for everybody, right? It's just like, I come from the fine dining industry, and people ask me, what is the best wine? And the best wine is the one you like it. So custom tailor on you what it is, the one that fits you most. I learned one thing, that when you are looking at the brand is because I consider brand a crutch, make you feel comfortable maybe in the beginning because you want to have a name behind it. Very soon you realize that it really doesn't matter. What it matters is the people that they are behind and the people that you have in the office. and what are these people and how committed, I think is the best word to use, how committed are these people to your success? And Larry, me and you had this conversation many times. And you know, even with Ernesto, sometimes probably we don't even agree to certain things I say. But bottom line is, how committed is the person in the office to see me successful? And that is what, in the end, it's really what is the most important things for you when you guys decide which company to choose.
Right, I agree with that. But then that would go into what do companies do to have their agents succeed? Ernesto, maybe you could chime in a little bit on this and give a little bit of insight. What can be done? What are the questions that should be asked when you're sitting across from a broker?
Well,
I have a good one.
Oh, I know he has a good one. Support. I'll let him ask his question. Like I said, the great thing about me and Milko is we, you know, me and Joaquin have the same thing. We always end up in the same destination. We just don't take the same route. So we take different routes. We have different opinions. We always end up at the same place, but we take a different route. And going back to what I was saying about local. You know, Milko is someone that's an investor across Florida. So he invests in every different market in Florida. I only invest in South Florida because I understand South Florida. So you got to find somebody that is, you know, understands your market. Support, especially in today's environment, support is key. You know, you're walking out with a license in your hand. You gotta affiliate yourself with a brand that is going to provide support. From personal to training to the availability of having another person to talk to and guide you through. You know, that's why I said we'll talk commissions at the end. But you gotta definitely find a brand that is gonna have extensive training to you at the beginning, available at different times, either live like we're doing right now, or recorded sessions or courses that they want you to take, that already exist. You know, and I know a lot of my fellow brokers are suffering because this situation began to happen and they weren't prepared to be paperless. They weren't prepared to deal with webinars. They weren't prepared to do any other stuff. And I'm like, listen, I've been doing this since 2018. I mean, you know, to me, it was just like, okay, instead of doing one a week, I'm doing 3 a week, but we were already doing them. Because we you know, we have so many agents that we cover that, you know, we were already doing this. So you gotta find a brand that is going to train you, a brand that's going to have support, a brand that is going to have technology, and you gotta think of technology that is going to make you be better. Technology that is going to work for you and make you be better. Listen, everybody has a website. Everybody can give you a website. That's not technology. Technology is a website that is monitoring who's logging in, tracking, logging them into your CRM, communicating like if it was you, having artificial intelligence to text that consumer as if it was you, communicating with them when it's literally your CRM running an autopilot in the back. So you gotta find a brand that is gonna give you training and support. More important than anything, that is key, because as both of you know, if you got $1 million buyer and you don't know what you're doing, you don't have $1 million buyer. Right. You're having a friend that wants to buy a house. So one of the key things that I say is that you gotta look for somebody that have support. You gotta look for a reputation. And one thing that I always say, and I'll say it out here, is listen, go to our company website, look for any of our agents, give them a call and say, why are you with Ernesto? Why did you choose this office? How long have you been there? Is he really available as they claim to be? Is he as supportive as he claims to be? Because if the agents and that brand cannot vouch for that support team and that broker, that to me is the reputation that you're looking for. Now what you see posted on social media, because we all know that, you know, social media farms exist. And if you're interested in seeing a video of a social media farm, send me a message and I'll send you a link to a social media farm. But you wanna have a conversation with those agents that are part of that brand and ask, why are they there? How long have you been there? And why are you still there? Or you might come across someone that says, listen, I left. I thought the grass was greener. And I realized that, the grass was pretty green where I was at. So I'm back over here.
So I want to expand on two points that you brought up, right?
Really?
You said that they have extensive training. So that's very subjective, right? We're trying to look for a guideline for somebody that's never done this before, right? What's extensive? Once a month?
So we offer twice a week live classes.
Wait, twice a week?
Twice a week. Yeah, so twice a week we have for example, tomorrow, and if anybody wants to participate, send me a message and I'll send you the invitation. Tomorrow we're breaking down the rental process for our agents and those that are not our agents that want to participate. So that's tomorrow. Just to give you an example, what we're covering there is our agents from their phone can simply send a text to Alessandro, and Alessandro can open the text, fill out some information, and then the agent gets back the credit report, background check, and eviction check. And Alessandro can then take that data, fill out a contract to lease, text it back to that client. The client can e-sign it, and then Alessandro I can send it then to you, Larry, to present the offer automatically. So tomorrow we'll be covering that. On Friday, we're doing this is a live online with some agents at a upscale listing that one of our agents has here in Weston, showing property in the social distance world. I was part of a small group of brokers that had a local conference call, and a couple of them are advising realtors to in this social distance environment to pull up to the house, open the door, get back in their car, and let the buyers walk to the house. And then when the buyers get back in their car, they go back and lock the house. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like,
I can hear Alessandro cringing.
I can see him like biting his nail. So I'm like, buyers, people, myself, I buy based on emotion.
Right.
And that look at Alessandro's, that experience is so panicky that I don't think I can have a positive emotion towards that property, right, Alessandro?
Yes.
Go ahead, say it.
Yes, Fernando. It's funny because I keep preaching this one, and it's just like you need to be able to understand the people you have in front of you. And if you want to know what is the difference between a well-known franchise and a local independent company, when we talk about training, I can tell you flat out. Ernesto say, I know South Florida, right? Ernesto, how long have you been having a company here in South Florida? When did you start here in South Florida?
I started it's going to be 27 years that I've been in real estate.
Always here, South Florida, nothing else.
Nothing here, always here.
Right, so this is the difference. And the difference is this. I start in 94, so we are now going 21. And I've been in Italy, in New York. I've been in Orlando, in Sarasota, in Naples area. I did offshore investment in Costa Rica, and I did Miami. So I can tell you one thing, they're all different. And when you are getting a general training that works everywhere, in South Florida, it doesn't work. It really doesn't. I had students that they were top agents in, and they all my friends, I don't know if any of them will look at this video, and they can be a testament to what I'm saying. Top agent from South Carolina, top agent from Texas, they come to South Florida, and it seems like they don't understand anything. This is something, what is going on here? So to have a company that create a custom-made training made on purpose for South Florida, it's priceless. Because when you go to one of these franchises, oh, we give you training, and he goes, is this the same training you give to the people in New York? Yeah. Is the same one you give to the people in Las Vegas? Yeah. And in Texas? Yeah. Well, it's not going to be the same thing. South Florida, it's unique. Buyer in South Florida, they are not from South Florida. While when you sell something, when you're working in Charleston, buyer in Charleston are from Charleston. Here they are different. Here, but before people contact you talking about technology, they already saw thousands of property. So you're not going to expose any property. They know about the real estate that they are interested about more than you are. And because, like Ernesto say, people buy out of emotion, you better learn a different technique, because the technique that works all over the world and the same way, the same things, is not going to work in this way. So you want to have something that it is custom made, prepared for South Florida. This to me made the huge difference when I talk many times with Ernesto, because I've been doing this one forever, and I still call Ernesto and say, Ernesto, I don't understand this. This is so new. What do you mean that this is the way it's going to be, right? So that is definitely understanding who do you have in front, because what worked in Italy, the restaurant I opened in Italy, will never work in South Florida, because my customers are different, their needs are different. If I don't understand their needs, I'm never going to fulfill them.
Well, I think you touched on a really good point, Alessandro, in the fact that, for example, Ernesto, you're down here, you're the broker of your company. So as things start to change and develop, as we've seen through this pandemic, you can make the adjustments and change the training and do all these things as the things are happening in real time. Yeah. It doesn't have to go to a corporate board to get approved, and then, you know, all these other red tape that has to go through them. You can make the decision to, in real time, let's do this training. Yeah. So I think that brings a lot of value, especially now in this time.
Yeah. So going back to what you were asking about training. So we do 2 training sessions, live sessions, every Wednesday and every Friday, right? And those could be anywhere from an hour to 2. We bring different speakers, every panelist. Since the pandemic started, once a month, I bring in an economist, and I do the presentation of where the economy is at, so people can get an idea of what's going on, right? And then every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m., we have a program called List to Thrive that is based on prospecting for inventory, because we have an inventory crisis. So if you're new in this industry, and you're thinking, where do I need to go? You need to find a company that's going to show you how to become a listing agent. We are having a crisis when it comes to inventory. Everybody thought that the market was going to be flooded. And I should have saved some of the comments from 3 months ago from social media, from a lot of other professionals that were talking about the inventory flood that was coming. South Florida is single family homes is sitting at 2 months of inventory. That's it. 2 months of inventory under $700,000. There's no inventory in South Florida. Right. For the volume of buyers, there's no inventory. And one of my good agents was just here telling me that he was showing property this week to 2 families from New York and 1 from Boston, that they're here in an extended stay hotel looking to buy. They're not going back. They're just going to go backpack and they're done. South Florida is where they're going to go home from now on. So like Milko said, the average buyer in South Florida, it's not from South Florida. It's from somewhere else. So you got to find a company that can help you reach those buyers, and a company that's going to train you on how the market it's going to evolve. So our trainings are, as I said, twice a week, and then twice a week we have a small coaching session sort of to get you ready and focus and building inventory.
Wow, it sounds very extensive. You must be a busy guy.
I keep busy.
This is what I want to ask you, and this is a lot of what I've been hearing, right? How come there's so many fees when it comes to signing up with a company? Aren't I working for them? Why do they charge so much? What are their charges for? How is it that they're charging these fees? I have to pay a desk fee, a startup fee. What about the training? Anything more than basic training, I have to pay for. Those are the questions that I've been hearing.
So everybody has a different business model, and our business model is different. With us, we have a power buy when it comes to tech, and the only investment that you gotta make is in sort of your tech component to get the business going. Nothing else. But everybody runs a different business model. Some companies are based are their income business model is based on those monthly fees, so that's why those fees are there. Some other ones look at a startup fee because let's be clear, 80% of people that join this industry um, don't last over 3 years, and it's only because they don't. And it's not that they don't want to work; it's that they're not properly trained or guided on how to work. So that's why you see the turning ratio so high in this industry. So everybody has a different model, business model. Ours is not that one, but a lot of the brokerages out there, they're looking for profitability, and then that's how those numbers, Larry, come across.
Thanks on that, for clearing that up. Alessandro, I know you had a question. I wanted to get back to that before we get too far off the topic.
I had a question.
You said you had one.
Oh, I think we actually touched on it. You know, I have like some timers, Alzheimer. Like, if you don't let me ask the question immediately, you lost. Like, I'm like, oh, ciao. You know the way I am, right? This is like, but no, and yeah, when you say what question to ask, I guess that really that is you actually nail it.
Both of you see 50% of everybody that gets licensed in South Florida. So you must be asked at some point in time. I'm walking out the door, and you look at them as your children leaving home for college, right? So they're probably reaching out to you and saying, Papa, what should I ask? What should I look for? So what are those questions that you're being asked?
Well, and I touched on them. So the question are about, you know, and this is the question that they don't know what to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
They all ask, do you have, and I can tell you, or you do training, and I can tell you one thing. If you ever go to an office that they answer you, no, I don't have any training, that office would be closed, because the question you ask are too generic. And because they are so generic, and because remember you're talking, and now I'm like, you know, I don't know how the two of you are gonna like me now, but you both know I always speak my mind, right? So obviously you're talking with somebody.
I have the mute button on just to mute you, just so you know.
I'm expect that to happen. But you know, that's what it is. It's like, you know, that the person in front of you is there to hire you. They're gonna tell you what you wanna hear.
Right.
And if the question is generic, the answer is yes. Are you gonna help me to? Yes. Do you have people to support me? Yes. Great. How many people do you have? How is the support you're gonna give me? Oh, you can call me at any time. I'm always gonna be there for you. Really? How many agents do you have? 150 people. Perfect. Who else is there to help me out? No, just me. How can you be there all the time? Well, are you a competing broker? Are you actually doing the business? Yes. So you're doing the business for yourself. You got to take care of the real estate brokerage. You have to do the compliance. You have to do the accounting. And you're there for me, which I'm a brand new real estate agent and I don't know what I'm doing. How you are accomplishing to doing this one and one thing. So now, remember one thing, when you ask question, ask an open question, and this is one-on-one sales, which means it's not yes or not, is okay, great. I'm happy to hear that. Now, it is your training custom made into the South Florida market, or is the same stuff you teach to everybody else? And when we talk about technology, what are you gonna give me? Some CRM that it is, and for just people, just so they know, is a customer relationship management is something that is proprietary to the company, that it is basic, or it is, I remember when I saw the CRM in Canvas, I felt like I was a spy. I mean, like, I remember when Vega told me, what does it do? It's like, are you kidding me? So you're telling me that people are actually gonna go and see the property, and I capture the name, first, last, their telephone number, their social media handler, who am I, 007, James Bond or stuff like that. So now you know you're actually getting something, but you want to be specific about what you ask. Never ask a generic question, ask specific question. How is this training in helping me out? What are you doing for new agent? What are you doing for professional agent? And that is when you get a true answer, because if you just go there with a specific question, it's not going to happen. My suggestion to you is prepare those questions on paper before you go there, because you don't want to get, because obviously it's the art of sales, right? I will pre-frame and reframe you where I want you to go. And you have to be strong on the other side. And remember that in this industry, the person that asks the question is in control. So you want to ask questions because you want to be in control on this situation, on this conversation, because you want to know if you're getting on the right place. And I don't know, but I believe that Ernesto probably appreciates somebody that it is so specific and it is so intense in what intention is, because now anyone that is hiring you know that you mean business. You're not just there to push air. You mean business.
But here's the thing, and it goes back to the initial conversation that we had, right? How do you know what questions to ask if you've never asked the question, or if you've never been in the industry? It begs that question. See, we can sit here because the three of us, between all of us, we have tons of experience. So we know if we were to ask that question, we know what questions to ask, whether it's on one side of the desk or the other, right? But somebody that's brand new, has no experience, they were something else in their previous career, how do they know what to ask? So for example, right, how do they know, like you and I and Mr. Vega, we would all ask, is certain things required? Do you have floor time that's required for us to complete every day? Do you have, a desk fee? Something like, those are questions that we would know, right, to ask. But somebody that's new, brand new in the industry, they'll put their name on an independent contractor agreement, sign to that company, and then the company would hand them a bill. How would they even know to ask what that bill was for?
I have a good question for you.
Well, hold it. Don't forget.
Yeah,
that is key. You said something that is key. You need to go to affiliate yourself with a broker that is going to give you an independent contractors agreement, which is the agreement between you and them, which is a contractual agreement. If whoever you're affiliating yourself doesn't use an independent contractor agreement, run. Just run. Don't walk, run. You want to make sure you affiliate yourself with a company, whatever company you choose, that there is in writing what they're going to do for you, what you're going to do for them, and what is their remedy if things don't work out. Your question, sir, before you forget.
Well, one of my favorite question is, I forgot. No. Is there a requirement annual contract that I have to sign? And if there is, what is the penalty to walk out of it? Because I know there are a few companies out there that they have a very handsome payment if you get out of that. And I know that they all tell you the same thing. Don't worry about it. If you cancel it, we are not going to stay there and come after you. It's not worth it to hire an attorney. True, but just simply filing a report, a collection report, will ruin people's credit. And just as because a company feels that, they don't want you to go work for somebody else or anybody else, so they want to stay, pay the desk fee for a whole year and whatever it is. So to me, that one, it's always been something that didn't feel personally very right for me, but everybody has a different opinion. But then again, if you like the company, but at least ask the question. Know if you are committing yourself. You're getting married for 1 year, certain company for 2 years. Are you okay with that? And if not, are you okay to pay whatever penalty there is in order to get out? And I know a lot of real estate agents don't realize that. They are so excited to get started that they forget to read the fine printing.
Yeah, that's one recommendation that definitely is worth pushing. It's make sure that the brokerage has an independent contractors agreement, Its acronym is ICA. Make sure that it's an ICA in place. Read the ICA and see what are the repercussions for early termination. You wanna take a look at those terms really before you sign. Take 10 minutes of reading can save you tens of thousands of dollars, right, Mr. Alessandro?
And not only car insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know, we've all heard the horror stories, right?
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic hit, I had somebody come to me and tell me, you know, they were charged $800 because they had signed with the company, and on the third day they didn't want to be there anymore. They said they walked into a company, the secretary or assistant put them in the conference room to watch a video, and nobody came in there. At 4 o'clock, she said, you know, what am I supposed to do? She said, oh, I'll come back tomorrow. The next day she came in, they put her in the conference room to watch a video. Nobody even spoke to her. By the third day, she's like, I'm done. She left, and they sent her a bill for $800 for training.
Yeah. Everybody runs a different business model. That's why, like Alessandro said, ask for the ICA, read the ICA. I bet you that if they reach out to you and say, hey, I'm looking at XYZ Realty, they're asking me to sign this that reads like this, what do you think? Both of you will give a professional opinion on, hey, yes, that's a good idea, or hey, these are the consequences if you do that, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you. So many people, and this is something that we talk about all the time, Alessandro. So many people talk about self-promotion versus company promotion, and what's more important, and some companies will stop you from promoting yourself versus only promoting them. How does that play into this?
So you gotta remember, you're going into business for yourself. You're affiliating with a broker, but you're building your own brand. You're building your own marketing. There are guidelines and compliance that you gotta follow in every brand, and things that you can do and you cannot do. But at the end of the day, you gotta promote you. That's one of those questions that you gotta ask. Am I allowed to use company inventory or company materials to promote myself as I see fit, or do I gotta stick to their brand guidelines? And how tight are those brand guidelines? That how much liberty do I have to push the envelope? You remember, you're building a name for yourself, so you should be able to affiliate yourself with somebody that's going to give you that liberty, and somebody that already has a plan, a branded guide plan to follow, that you can jump in from day one and get moving. So yes, promote yourself, promote, and then promote.
So let's just recap so far what we've gone over, right? How often is training, right? I know, Ernesto, you said with Canvas that you do it twice a week, every week, even through the pandemic. Yeah. Is training mandatory through Canvas?
So everybody listening to our voice is an independent contractor. So training is not mandatory. Just like going to the gym is not mandatory, right? So it's if this is what you want to do, you gotta follow the ones that have done it, and what is it, and what is their secret sauce. Although there is no secret sauce, what is it that it's working for them? So, like I said, 27 years, it's going to be 27 years in the industry. I am literally in a different training session or podcast at least once a day. I'm always trying to learn and pick up something new because, like I said, our industry evolves and changes very rapidly, and now more than ever. So you got to make sure that you can, adapt.
I got 2 questions.
Oh, did you write them down?
No, I don't write nothing down. No, the first question, and I know it's probably something that you're going to get asked very often, and you probably want to ask is, do you have a mentorship program, and how important is a mentorship program? And then a common question has been asked to me very so often, and I have my own opinion, but the opinion don't count. The facts count. So I don't want to give an opinion because it's based on personal belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question to both of you that is being asked to me so many times, should I join a company because they told me that I have the opportunity to join a team, and by joining the team, I will learn much more. And I have my own personal opinion because I did have few experience, even not personally, but with people that had a team in the company I was work with, in the office I was work with, and I know how it ended every single time. So what is your opinion of a new agent to join a company just because they're promising them to be part of a team so they can learn better? And do you have a mentorship program?
Okay, so we do have a mentorship program. So you got to look at a mentor as your personal trainer at the gym. There are some individuals that are self-motivated, very disciplined, and can jump into this industry and do this without a mentorship. There's other individuals that might need the guidance, and it's not hand holding, because it's not, but they might need the guidance and want to have that safety net around them, and want to make sure that things are done the right way, and they don't want to lose those opportunities that come across their desks. So we do have a mentorship program. It's a scale mentorship program that here at Canvas that you can participate in. And it's available for those that want it. And like I said, if you're a self-driven individual, you don't need it. Now, when it comes to teams, there was just an in-minute conversation on how teams are evaporating in our industry. And the reason why is no one is defining what are the tasks that everybody has to do based on compensation. And I'm going to give you a simple example of what they said, and it's beautiful. So listing agent takes a listing for $500,000, right? That is a $15,000 commission minus fee. Let's call it $12,000, right? Newer agent gets hired and gets put into the team to learn. And for the new agent, it was great because it's a 50-50 with the team member. And property and then goes into market, goes pending in 3 days. The sales, inspections are done, appraisals are done. The newer agent attended inspection, attended an appraisal, and attended the closing. The listing agent, which through the brokerage had to bring in a team member, a newer agent, says, so I'm giving $7,500 for someone that worked 4 hours. How is this? How is this reality? So the reason teams are evaporating is because they're not defining the task. So I'm not saying that would I work with 50-50 with somebody? Yes, but let's do quick math, right? What is it? $20 an hour is you think is a good salary for someone to help you on a sale?
Yeah, brand new. Yeah.
So that is on that sale, Milko, that is 375 hours of work. So I'm gonna work with you 50-50, but you are gonna work with me, or better that, for me, I'm the listing agent, for 375 defined hours with defined tasks. Because my objective is for you to, out of that listing, you gotta give me 2 more listings and 2 buyers. So teams are evaporating, and you'll see it more and more as the market keeps changing like it's changing. And it's because of that. No one is defining the tasks. If you define the expectations from the beginning, then there's no surprises. But it's very nice to get a $7,500 check for working 4 hours, right, guys?
And 3 days.
Who will take that all day long? Who will take that all day long, right?
Sign me up for that.
Yeah.
So
But
mentorship, yes, I believe in it. I believe in it for there's people that need it. Yeah, there's people that need it. We have a program for it, and teams can work if you define and create expectations, not if it's just, oh, we're gonna work at 50-50, whatever happens happens.
Right.
No.
so for the one that get flashed the term, I'll put you into a team so you learn fast and you immediately make money. Just make sure you ask follow-up question, and the follow-up questions are, that would be amazing because I really want to learn very fast. How defined are the tasks I'm going to have to make? How am I going to be compensated? How or what is expected from me to do? Who is the team leader? And ask the same question to the team leader. So the simple fact that somebody say, come, I'll put you with a team so you learn everything. I've seen that happening before. And what happened is you literally get hired to do all the dirty work. And then in the end, you realize that you're not going to get paid. And by the time you decide to go, you did a lot of free work for them, which means you did work, possibly learn something or not. And then you finding yourself to start frustrated again from zero. And for me, is you guys, both of you know how protective I am, especially with a new agent, because they're coming out with a school with one things that we're never going to have them again. Yes, they are not experienced, but they have the one single things that they're only going to have one time, which is the enthusiasm to have a license and to get started in a new career. If they don't get in production immediately or as fast as possible, they will lose that enthusiasm and they will never gonna get it ever again, because unless they just get the license 50 years later. But normally that enthusiasm, it's precious. It is infective. I wanted to be infected with that enthusiasm because I don't have it anymore. It doesn't happen to me anymore. And it's something I only get at a time. It's just like when you have your own child fishing the first fish. It doesn't matter if it is a catfish, you're getting excited. And that is what to me means when new agent, when my students join a company, and that's what I want to see.
So let me read off a couple of questions that I've been taking notes about, and you guys fill in the blanks if I missed anything for these new licensed people or people that are just getting into the real estate industry that may have had a license for a while. What form of training do you have? How often is training? What kind of support do you have? Is it agent support? Is it administrative support? Is there any restrictions on promotions? What costs do I have to become an agent? Are there any ongoing costs that I'm going to look at? Do you have a mentorship program? How does the mentorship program work? Is there a mandatory team regulation that I have to join into? Are the terms of the team defined, right? Do you have an independent contractor agreement? And this, I think, is the most important one. Right after we talk about the commission, is everything we discussed in your independent contractor agreement?
Yes, that's those are the key questions that when you're sitting across a broker that you want to have. Although there's one question there that it's before you get to commission that you gotta make sure it's in writing. Alessandro brought it up, and is that broker a competing broker, or does that broker operate a team underneath his umbrella that is a competing team? There's different people have different opinions on it, but that is a question that, if you're joining a brokerage where you're competing against your broker, it's kind of hard. It's kind of, it's kind of hard to do. I am a non-competing broker. I am active in real estate, but everything and you can look me up on the MLS. Everything that I do is investments. I manage an investment fund and we invest in real estate, but I am not a competing broker per definition. I'm not out there showing property or working with buyers or working with sellers. It's I've been blessed that I have built a good referral business over the years that I don't have to do that. But that is a question that you want to ask to that, Larry, that, to your newbies, that is a question they want to ask. And there's a decision they got to make. Listen, if the culture feels right and the relationship with that person they interviewed feel right, maybe they can get past that. But you want to find out who you're competing against.
And read the fine printing, because it says something important. Some of them, they will tell you, oh, no, I am not a competing broker. And then the follow-up question is, are you the leader, or you belong to a team inside of your own company that is operating? Because certain broker, they will tell you, no, I'm not a competing broker, or no, I'm not, I am just a recruiter, I'm just a manager, I'm just a on-file broker. But then in reality, they are the owner of a team inside of the company. And yeah, you're not going to get the same support, because what is really going to bring the biggest amount of money to them is not the salary that they get paid by the franchise. It's actually the money that they're going to make out of a team. And you already know which side of the balance it is. Bingo. So ask follow-up question.
So then commissions, right? That's
I think that brings us to our golden question. This is what everybody's been waiting for.
I gotta
tell you. How much is it gonna cost me?
I gotta tell you. I have something else that I want to touch at the end that I put together, which is what to do if you have anybody listening that is new in the industry, and even if you're not new, if you just fallen off, what are things that you can do with the next 30 days to get started in this business? So I get in a lot of trouble for commissions, right? It's my opinion that our market is a very fluid market, and you cannot have a Moses written in stone commission plan. Market changes, situations change. Different agents bring different value to different companies that you might not be monetarily weighed differently. So you should be looking for a brokerage that have up to 100% commission, that has different plans that you can participate in. So you definitely, I'm not saying go and run and join a 100% company, because if you, like Milko said, if it's a team of 100 and the broker is the receptionist, the admin, the appraiser, and the photographer, right? And he's going to train you at 100%. You're going to get that first buyer, and what's going to happen? You're going to lose that first buyer, because, or you're going to have to call Milko to coach you, because he has such a kind heart that he's going to coach you through the process, right?
And it does happen all the time. And you know what? And I have been accused before that, oh, you don't want to help me because I didn't join your company. No, it's not that I don't want to help you, but you're asking somebody else to just leave everything they're doing, when you could have choose in the beginning, make the right choice in the beginning. And just remember one thing, and this is my mantra. So if any one of you that is listening now is new, you will work for learning so you can work for earning. If you're never going to learn, you will never work for earning. You're just gonna chase the next paycheck. And it doesn't work like that. That is out of luck. And I know people say, I'd rather be lucky than good every day, all day long, but you're not gonna be lucky all day. So eventually, sometimes it may gonna happen, but you need to work for learning, and then you can work for earning. And I have to say, it's not because I am with the company, but the setup of the commission split that there is with Canvas, it was genius to me. It's like, oh my God, this is so smart. Because yes, in the beginning, you may gonna need some help, but eventually you're self-sufficient. So now you have the best of the two worlds. But you need to stick one things in your head. 100% of nothing is gonna be nothing every day, all day long.
Yep.
So eventually you may gonna get to 100%, but make sure you got there to a point that you really don't need anybody anymore, because you know what you're doing, because you're good, not because you're lucky.
And that should be outlined in the ICA as well. The independent contractor agreement should outline how they're going to pay you, and
Yes.
what your pay rate is, and it should encourage it should encompass everything that we've talked about. Don't you think, guys?
Yeah, that is a huge one right there. That's why I said the ICA. You know, after many years I've been doing this, I have come across many individuals that are trying to leave a firm, and then the problems come up with pending deals, with transactions, with closings, with everything, and there's nothing in writing that says what is the exit strategy, and then the problems begin. So commissions, like I said, commissions change. Our industry is changing, and a lot of brokers will have to adapt. But you need to have a scale. Look for a brokerage that has a scale compensation to grow as your learning grows. So did I answer that one properly, gentlemen?
You did. You did. Well, I just want to thank everybody for.
Wait. I got a couple of things that I wrote down that everybody
Absolutely.
that is a new agent should do and they haven't done. Anybody that's sitting in your class, this they gotta do. You gotta join a firm and you gotta get business cards. I have Campus has electronic business cards, but you gotta get business cards. But before you get business cards, you gotta get a professional shot of yourself, because the idea is to, like we spoke about, brand yourself. So you gotta look your best on that picture. So you got to get a professional shot. You need to write a professional bio on yourself that talks about who you are and what you've done. Be proud of your past. Doesn't matter what you've done. You're not here by luck, right, Milko? Like you were saying, you didn't get this far by luck. So write about everything you've done in your past, even if you began real estate yesterday. Expand on everything you have done in the past, because that value is what's going to take you forward. You need the minute you got to join the board of realtors, and you gotta get a Supra key, guys. It's that's how the world moves. You cannot show property if you don't have a Supra key. If you call an agent and say, "Hey, I don't have a Supra, can you meet me Friday night at 7:30?" That's not gonna work, right? That sale it's not gonna work. Put together a database of your sphere of influence. Oh my God, Ernesto, I don't know anybody. Yes, you do. Look at your phone. I think Milko said this once. Everybody on your phone is your sphere of influence. Everybody. Even your mother is your sphere of influence.
And
so
you'll be surprised how many people you know. It's always surprising how many people you know that you don't even
exactly.
know.
You need to let every single one of those people know that you are in this industry, that you took a step and you are in this industry. No, I'm not telling you to beg your aunt for business. That's not what we're doing. But your aunt knows somebody that might be referred to you. You need to take the time now that you have it and understand the market. I'm not telling you to memorize what's happening in Miami sales or Broward sales, but pick an area and become the expert on that area. The MLS has all the data that you need. So please take the time to understand that data. But to learn how to use the MLS, you gotta take classes on the MLS. You gotta get prepared, because that is the hammer that is gonna help you build your house. Start connecting with other agents. Start touring properties. Open houses are happening again. If you're in the car on Sunday driving with your significant other and there's an open house, pull up, get in, walk the house. Listen to their presentation. See what they do different. Learn from each other. Give them your business card and say, listen, I'm not working with somebody right now, but I might be soon, and I'm glad that I got to meet you. So begin to build relationships, because in a tight market, a phone call from somebody goes a long way to get a deal done, right?
Yes,
so it goes a very long way. Shadow an agent if they let you. If you didn't want to join a team or get a mentor, shadow an agent or around what they do on a day. Say, listen, I'll pay for your next set of postcards going out. Let me spend the next week following you around, see what you're doing. I know with social distance now it's a little different, but there's still ways that you can do that. And be active. Be active. You're not, be proud of who you are. You're not a secret agent. Be active. So there's a couple of things that I written down that for everybody that's new, I wanted them to hear.
You put me in trouble right now.
So as you were speaking, there's one thing that I wanted to ask you that I almost forgot to ask you.
Okay.
If somebody is not not with Canvas right now,
Yes.
right? Can they attend any of your trainings?
Yes.
And how would they do that?
If they're listening to this, just put a message and you'll get sent out the link to the presentations.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I have a question from my watch party. What separates Canvas from other broker, and are most real estate a 50-50, so nothing else is set in stone?
Okay, so the first question of what makes Canvas different?
Right.
All right, so that's a long answer, but I try to put it in 2 words or less. So we're a locally grown startup. We're a 20-year-old company in South Florida that rebranded a year ago as an independent because we saw the value of being involved at a local level deeper than being a part or having our business dictated from outside our market share. We are, and you can look this up in the MLS, we're one of the top 50 largest brokers in production in the state of Florida. And we were just blessed to be named the 187th best independent broker in the US. Although we are technology driven, and if you want to know about technology, I'm not a millennium, but I can defend myself very well. I have adapted my business 2 years ago, and I have the notes and I can share them. I sat down with my team and I said, I want my agents to be able to be showing a house, see the emotion, see the sparkle in their eyes of that buyer, and be able to, with their left hand, take their phone in their hands, write an offer, ask them, Milko, is this house the one you like? Milko, you gotta answer me.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, they're asking $349. What do you think is a fair price that we can start at? If we would
make a $305,000 worth offer.
Milko, if you open your email right now, I just send you an offer. Let's sign it. Let's present it, and let's see where it goes.
Right now?
Right now, it's already in your inbox.
Oh, when did you do that?
As you were touring the house. So 2 years ago, we had that drive, and we're about to add one more component to it. So if Milko says yes and makes that offer, I'm going to ask Milko at that moment for a check. And from my phone, I'm going to deposit that check directly into Canvas, and an escrow letter will be sent to you automatically. So we are very tech driven, but this is still a personal business. So what makes us different is that we are that hybrid of a tech company, right? But still offering personal service and support. So, and what was the second question, sir? The 50-50, I didn't get that.
I tried to understand the question myself, but I'm asking, are most real estate a 50-50, so nothing is set in stone? I need to understand the question.
So I think the question is on the commission. Is it usually a 50-50 split with the agent and the company, or is nothing set in stone?
So once again, there's different business models when it comes to brokerages. There's different business models. 50-50, that's, I mean, that you'll find maybe if you're part of a team, or if you...
I think that's what it meant. The team is normally 50-50. That's not normally work.
Yeah, well, the reason you're seeing teams fade is because that mentality worked great when things were different. In this evolving market that we are in right now, and listen, the market is I'm going to be serious. The market is very hot right now. Rates are unbelievably low. And inventory is very, very tight. But real estate, it's something that pulsates. It's alive. I think there will be some changes coming towards the end of the year, not rate related, but there are some pressures that will, affect the market in different ways, and the market will be very segmented. There will be some areas where there will be contractions, and there will be some areas where the appreciation will be monumental. But if you want to read more about My name is Ernesto Vega. Go to LinkedIn, find me on LinkedIn, and I'll bore you with all the articles and research that I sent out there. But if you're joining a team, usually it's 50-50. But like they both of my colleagues said, if you join somebody 50-50, you're gonna be the coffee boy, the copy boy, that stand in an open house for the entire day kind of person. In that, there's no learning. There's no learning in that. So I think that you got to find a place that if you're going to join a team, what is required of you, and what are you going to take from this opportunity?
Well, I think they'll learn how to make coffee, how to get coffee, how to stand around. No, seriously. I think this was Alessandro, do you have any other questions that are coming in on your end?
No, I have no more question. I have a few people asking me to have an invitation for the next training.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
That is the
Ernesto, is there anything else you want to touch on this?
Hold on, there's somebody asking, and I'm just sending them my email address. My email for anybody listening is very simple. It's evega@canvasre.com, evega@canvasre.com. If you have any questions, or if you just want to have a conversation, feel free to send me a message, and I'll reply to you. I will send if you send me that information, I'll send tomorrow's training link to the agents that we're having, and then if on Friday we'll be doing a virtual outside the office showing properties in a social distance world. Because I think just like Milko was there boiling up, so was I. How can you send a buyer into a house by themselves and go back and sit? Yeah. Listen, we all need to be safe. We all need to follow procedures by the CDC, but you gotta be smart at how to conduct business. You gotta be smart, and from a broker's perspective, to hear that somebody's telling the agents, "Yeah, just walk through the house and I'll be out here." No, that's a big no-no there.
So I just wanted to let everybody know that we will be posting this again at a taped version. For everybody that wants to follow Ernesto on Facebook, it's Canvas RE on Facebook, correct, Ernesto?
Company's Canvas RE, yeah.
Alessandro, you want to give them your Facebook, just in case people don't have it?
My Facebook, I probably gonna be easier to cut and paste. So
isn't it a legend in his own time?
I'm gonna change it from Milko Danieli into a legend on his own time.
Oh, okay. I had it wrong. I thought it was the man, the myth, the legend. Sorry.
If you guys allow me, I'm just gonna tell you one very short story about self-confidence and what does it do. When I was in this real estate office up in New York City, when I joined the company, we were 6-7 people. We got to about 80 people, and I probably trained 30 of them, right? And I remember that they assigned me this guy. His name is Oren. I will never forget it. And they assigned me the guy. And I went to the broker and says, I cannot do anything for this guy. He says, why? He's full of himself. You have no idea. Did you see his website, the webpage, on the website? And he goes, no, what do you mean? The guy called himself the legend of real estate in your city. He just got here from a different country. How is he going to be the legend in your city?
I like that guy.
You have no idea. So I still train him because the broker says, just give you an opportunity. I know it's a little bit hard-headed, but the guy is motivated. That was 2001, end of 2000, beginning of 2001. I called that office about 7-8 months ago, and I haven't spoke with them forever. And I say, hey, how's this guy's going? And he goes, you just spoke with him, with his office. And he goes, no, I called the other office, the one where I used to work at, and they told me that you open a new branch down in the village. The other office was 57 in Lexington. And he goes, yes, he owns the office in 57 and Lexington.
Wow. Good for
And
him.
you're looking for the legend of New York City. It's still the same. Like if you go and find him online, it still has the same identical, not identical because obviously he grew up, but he came in this industry say, I'm going to become a legend. And I'm telling you, to own an entire floor on a 30th floor in 57 and Lexington in Manhattan, you are a legend.
That's money. That's money.
I had to stop saying something, but yeah, you just are a bona fide legend. So that is how important it is to have self-confidence when you get started in this. Nobody was going to stop him, and it wasn't stopped.
Right. I agree. Well,
But
gentlemen,
another legend, it is Milko Danieli. You have it over there.
well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Ernesto, thank you so much for joining us today. Milkos, thank you again for being here with me today. We'll see you guys soon. If you have any questions, you guys all have Ernesto's contact information, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.